Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a wear test on a product that I've been waiting for a long period of time, and this is the E.L.F Poreless Putty Primer. I'm really interested in how this works, and if you want to continue to watch, please like, comment and subscribe to my channel and press the bell button for notification for future videos. So this is the very infamous E.L.F putty primer that is like a dupe for the what brand is it? Touchy putty primer, which they have like a similar kind of like a packaging, and like as you can see, I've like tried this a few times before this review. This primer is like very like a thin veil for the skin, where you have like some dimethicone, some like different kind of things that helps to minimize the pores and has some mattifying effect on the skin. And I'll be testing this out and see how this helps with like one of my favorite foundation currently, the 8cc cream. Like last time I checked, this is not that very long lasting on my skin, and it does start to like get me very oily on like a 6 hour mark. And I want to try this out to see how this helps this to last. And I put on sunscreen already, and let's get started. So to start off with, we will be applying the E.L.F primer, and it's a quite a creamy texture. It doesn't have like any fragrance in it, and it smells like nothing. And the instruction for this is to apply a thin layer and then let it dry for 30 seconds. So now I will take 2 pumps of the 8cc cream matte and try this on and see how this helps with the application. This definitely gave me a really smooth texture on the skin, and like it slightly has a mattifying effect. I can feel it less like oily. And not less oily, but it gave my skin a really smooth kind of a canvas, where sometimes the hydrating primers doesn't give me that. Also, I feel like this primer does create like a barrier between my skin and like other products that I put on, which I feel like I'm like protected from some of the things that are in the foundation. Sometimes, you know, foundation makeup doesn't have like the best kind of ingredient for the skin, and it feels like it creates a barrier between the makeup and like my skin. Now I will smooth the foundation out with a sponge. This does gave my skin more of like a matte look as I'm looking to on a mirror. I think this has like more of a mattifying power than the ink cream itself, and this is definitely looking more like what I call a demi matte, sort of like a soft natural focus kind of finish to my skin, which the ink cream does dry down, but it doesn't have like the shine doesn't really go out all the way. It has a very matte kind of a look, but it has like a hint of like a natural kind of glow. This has less glow, but it has a soft focus kind of like look on the skin, where the ink cream itself doesn't give me that kind of a look. And I'll be back after I applied the whole makeup. See you then. So this is the finished look. I've like set my face. I've used bronzer, blush, and highlight to my skin. And what I feel is that everything goes on really smoothly, and it's like how I feel like when I only use this with like another hydrating primer. And let's see how this goes, and let's see how this helps with the longevity of like the foundation, because sometimes mattifying primers does help with like the look of the foundation, as well as like the longevity of the foundation. And let's see how this one helps with the foundation. And the time now is 1:03, and I'll try my best to wear this foundation for 8 hours, and let's see how this one lasts. I will see you tonight at night. See you soon. Bye.
A few moments later.
So it's 7 hours later. It's 8 now, and I'm done with my day. And even though I promised to wear it to 9, I could not wear it further anymore, because I feel like the foundation has somewhat break down in this area, which made me really like quite oily, and quite uncomfortable to wear it furthermore, and I think it has done its job. I for like most of my face, I think it lasted really nicely. But for this area, just this area, it didn't really do a great job of like making it last a really long time. I think for the mouth area, it's doing quite a nice job. But for like my side of the cheeks, it's like leaking out oil. And let's use blotting paper to see how oily I am. I didn't add concealer today. I didn't use more powder than usual. I just used a similar amount of powder that I would use normally. So let's see how oily I am. I feel like the area that I get really oily is like this around my pores area, where maybe because of the glasses kept on like rubbing to like that area in particular that made it really oily. But other than that, I feel like my forehead doesn't feel any like oilier than usual. It's like I feel nice. Like overall, I don't feel extremely oily except for this area. Very uncomfortable to wear like more fun. Wear it longer. Let's see how oily I am on my forehead. I don't feel my forehead is extremely oily. I don't think there's any proof that I'm not oily, but I don't feel as oily as usual for on my forehead. I don't have like as much of a shine there, but this area is not doing the best. And let's see the chin and mouth area. I didn't set my mouth area. I set like around my perimeter except for the mouth area, so it's not really extremely oily. Some products came off the sheets, and I think for this area there's some product that came out. For the forehead, nothing came off, which is, I think, the product didn't really I think the E.L.F primer did help with like the smoothness and the application and like the overall kind of like the look of the foundation, which helps it stay matte in most of the area except for this area in particular. I got quite oily. Let's see my nose. Do I have definitely there's some oil on my nose as well. Let's see how the foundation goes with after I blot. Let's see how it powders again. think after repowder this, it definitely mattifies the foundation a little more. I think the foundation itself looks pretty matte. It doesn't have a lot of shine, which is something that I want. I want shine when I use like a glowy foundation, but if I choose a matte foundation, I want it to look matte, and I think this foundation does looks great after repowdering it. Overall, I think this primer works. It smooths out like the overall skin texture. It does create some slight soft focus kind of finish to the foundation itself. For oil controlling, I think it's quite doing a great job, except for this area, which you can see I got quite oily after like 7 hours of wear. But overall, the other parts of my skin still looks intact. I can still see like the cream and the blush and the highlight here and the bronzer here. Overall, I quite like this primer. I think less is more with this primer. I think if you have like tried the Tatcha one, you might like this one as well. This one has like dimethicone in it, so that it smooths the skin. Sometimes like pure dimethicone, kind of like those Smashbox primer does get me really oily, and it oxidizes my foundation, but this one doesn't seem to do that. It has a lot of like dimethicone in it, so that it helps with like smoothing the skin, somewhat helps with controlling the oil, like it prevents oil from coming through like the makeup. And I think that it does prevent oil from coming up, because overall most of my skin, except for my pores area, like the areas next to my nose, got quite oily, but other place it seems to me that it really hides the oil. Even though there is a lot of oil on my skin, this helps with hiding how oily you look. Overall, I would recommend this primer if you want to try this primer, and I think that for the price and the amount of product that you get, it's approved for me. So thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day, and please comment, like, and subscribe to my channel, and press the bell button for more notification. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.